Welcome back, guys. This is the 10th episode of my top 10 setups of the day. Before we get started, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel to see more of these amazing setups. In 10th place, starting off our list with this very simple build from Izmiak, who uses this both for gaming and for a work from home setup. The three Samsung LC49HG90MDU monitors look fantastic and are perfect for immersive gaming. And they're also all impressively mounted on a converted HFT-EK monitor mount. This user is moving soon, and when they get to their new place, I would definitely recommend cleaning up some of the cable management and maybe adding some fun decorations on the wall and around the build that match the theme. Our next setup comes from Ahmad J03 and is super sleek and chic. They've got a 15-inch Surface Book 2 connected up to an LG 32-inch GK650 monitor with the increasingly popular BenQ screen bar that we've been seeing more and more. They've also got what seems to be a Razer Black Widow with a very comfortable looking Reloot Delta Hub wrist rest. Last but not least, they also have a pair of good yet affordable Edifier speakers. They've also got an amazing wallpaper on the wall that really helps bring together the aesthetic of the build. Next up, in 8th place, is this simple yet futuristic setup from Bob Wade. It's not super common that we see a single monitor setup, but I think just having the one AOC 1080p monitor really works here and helps keeping the desk from feeling too cluttered. They also have an Pro 2 keyboard as well as a Logitech G305 mouse, both resting on a sweet RGB desk mat that matches nicely with the RGB behind the desk. Although not featured in the picture, the OP has since gotten a laptop stand, which will definitely help reduce the awkwardness of just having your laptop resting on the corner of the desk like that. In 7th place, this setup from Final X Stage is probably one of my favourites today because of those retro vibes on the computer. The PC is made from a refurbished and modified 1998 Adtronics case, but don't let the old exterior fool you because this is housing a Ryzen 5 5600X CPU, an Aorus X570 Elite Wi-Fi motherboard, 32GB of G-Skill Trident RAM, an MSI RTX 2070 Super Gaming X GPU, and two Samsung 970 EVO 1TB NVMe's. To the left of this is a horizontal 27-inch 1440p 144Hz LG 27GL 850 monitor, with a screen bar and a vertical 24-inch 1080p 60Hz Acer V226 HQL monitor. Below this is a very retro looking EPO Maker EP84 keyboard and a Model D mouse. The mouse is okay, but it doesn't fully match the retro look. I'd love to see this setup with a khaki or beige G305 or G Pro. At number 6 is this build from Ballpark Frank 21, who needs you to know that no, they don't ride the Peloton. For the actual setup, we've got a desk made from an IKEA Ekbakken, which is a countertop on top of some iconic IKEA Alex drawers in blue. I really like the combination of the two monitors pressed together with the wall-mounted TV, as it gives you a nice place to put on some background noise or music whilst you game or work. The variety of plants and greenery on the IKEA latch shelves help add a pop of colour here and there, and especially look good with that bright white light coming from the nano leaf lights. At the halfway mark, we've got this chill neon setup from Tomahawk Tonkatsu. They've got a very impressive ultra-wide Samsung CRG9 monitor, which clocks in at 49 inches. Below the monitor, you can see the very fun and unique Razer Def Adder with an Overwatch theme. In front of the desk, they've got the incredibly comfortable and recognisable Secretlab Omega chair. I really like how simple and minimal this setup is, as it keeps that relatively small desk from feeling cramped or cluttered. Today's number 4 spot comes from Damned Captain, who's actually saying goodbye to this setup as they leave to go to school and move cities. While the actual tech here is fairly limited and minimal, including that NZXT case and the Raspberry Pi, where this setup really shines is the wall art and decorations, which are clearly filled with love and memories. Having a collection of art on the walls as well as knickknacks on the desk makes this setup super cozy and gives you something to look at, since the setup itself isn't over the top or flashy. I'm excited to see what Damned Captain's setup will look like in their new home. Coming in at number 3, our next setup comes from Putrid Reach 1045, and they've completely nailed their aesthetic. Obviously, the crowning jewel of this setup is that gorgeous desk. It was made from a 7-foot walnut slab bought locally and then mounted on some industrial dining legs from Amazon. The blue coming from the monitor, RGB, and the neon sign mixed with the natural wood from the desk give this whole setup a nice fun summery and beachy vibe. Speaking of the neon sign, the wood matches nicely with the desk, and the phrase definitely gives some love to the Bay Area. I'm also a huge fan of what I believe are their speakers, which look like fun mechs flanking their LG monitor. Next up is a super large yet minimal setup from user The Moo. First and foremost is that incredibly large and solid birch desktop that OP finished and stained themselves after buying it from Laos. The desktop is mounted on some grey IKEA Alex drawers and looks absolutely stunning. With one of the cleanest triple monitor setups that we've seen on these lists, we've got two AOPON monitors on either side of a Dell monitor, with all three being impressively mounted to a Video Seku monitor mount from Amazon. Below the right monitor, we can see a pair of SteelSeries Arctis 7 headphones, as well as a Razer mouse. The PC on the right has an Intel i7-7700K CPU, an MSI GTX 1070 GPU, Corsair Vengeance RGB 3000 MHz RAM, with an MSI Z270 Gaming M7 motherboard, all tucked inside a Lian O11 XL case. Honestly, for me, one of the most impressive things about this setup is the insane cable management which has been done so well that there's barely a single cable in sight. Overall, this is just a really fantastic build. Finally, we've reached the number one spot on our list, which has to be this gorgeous setup from CoffeeKranzen. Every piece of furniture in this setup was handmade by themselves, and any wood that you see is all acacia paneling. The room is beautifully decorated with pink and cherry blossoms, and various soft decorations that make the room incredibly peaceful and calming. The Acer Predator X34P monitor on the custom desk also has a nice wallpaper that adds to the calming tones of the room. All in all, this setup is a very good example of how the decoration and aesthetic around the setup can be just as important as the tech itself, and how they can make or break your build. And that's the end of the list. Check out the description for a list of a lot of the gear that I've mentioned in the video. If you want to see more of these incredible setups, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe with notifications on so that you don't miss the next episode. Leave a comment down below on which setup you think should have been number one.